One of the biggest battles that you'll ever have, besides the battle for attaining love, attaining food, attaining sovereignty, is the battle for identity. To like truly answer the question, who am I? What am I here for? Where am I going? What is my mission in this life? Those are questions that I've asked myself since I was like 12 or 13, and I would just have these conversations with God and be like, why are we here for? What's the purpose of being human? And year after year, I asked myself the same question, trying to like detach from the madness of civilization, detach from the madness of my family and society and religion and school. Since I was like very little, since I was like 10, 11, 12, 13, I realized that civilization was a lie. It was all a matrix and it was a movie of repetition and of roles that I didn't want it to repeat. It's like I was not interested in playing the role game that society was trying to impose on me. So I started reading books, philosophers, psychologists. Since I was like 12, 13, reading classics, reading philosophers like Nietzsche and Jung and Eric Fromm and Reich, and trying to understand from the mind of a 45-year-old, 50-year-old man like Nietzsche was at the time. And he became my mentor. He became the person that I was finally understanding why society was wrong, why religion was a lie, why, why, and starting to like declutter from the programs that my family was imposing on me. Start rejecting those programs since I was like 12 or 13. Quit the church at 13. Told my parents I never ever wanted to go back to church ever again, with explanations from my own self and also from Nietzsche. He was like my good mentor at the time, and continue like digging and digging and digging and deprogram from all this pain and trauma inflicted in childhood, teenage years, and young adulthood. It's basically just years and years of trauma patterns, like failing relationships, until one day you start understanding what true love is. You start understanding what feeling accepted for the first time by a group of people feels like. And for me, that was like my first true teachers were indigenous people. They were the first ones to accept me fully for who I am, 100%, exactly who I was. And I was treated like an adult. I was treated with respect, and I was included into their circle without reservations. And that for me was like game changer, life changer, to feel part of a group of people, feel part of humanity. And I owe that to indigenous teachers who were humble enough to accept a wild teenager into their group, give me a position, give me a role, give me a function, and the patience for me to like start learning about them and their traditions, and the expansion that being accepted meant to me was superior than anything else. It was superior than school, it was superior than parties, it was superior than anything else that my family or society was offering me at the time. So I started experimenting with indigenous people and their ceremonies and their rituals and plant medicine since I was 18 years old. Deep into the desert, Mexican desert, vast, empty, without houses, without roads, without civilization, without the madness that civilized people bring with them. And it was a quest. You definitely jump into the void and you really don't know what's going to be on the other side, but you jump trusting because you know that you have to make this jump. You know you have to have the leap of faith into the unknown. And once you step forward and you overcome the challenges that comes with the first psychedelic trip you ever had in your life, and you start truly understand your emotions, well, just the surface. It's like the tip of the iceberg. Because after that one day ceremony, there came many other occasions in which I kept shedding the layers of pain and conditioning that I had in my psyche. And it takes many years to like decompress from trauma and PTSD until one day you're able to sit with peace and tranquility and feel at home. Because basically that's what it's all about. Like, in order to overcome trauma and PTSD, you need to start feeling more at home in your body, feeling home of who you are, feeling the love and the self-respect that you deserve. And you start creating those safe feelings and those safe scenarios and environments for yourself. And you also start connecting with safer people than the kind of people that you used to in your past, because you were addicted to those patterns of energy and emotional roller coasters. And yeah, it's just been truly humbling to go into this roller coaster of personal development for the last, what, almost 20 years of my life, of being in this quest since I was very young. And now I'm here in Bali, Indonesia, and I love my life. I love who I have become, especially in the last 5 years after overcoming a super intense battle with Lyme disease before coming into Bali, overcoming a huge battle against depression and heartbreak, mental break that happened when I was living in Vancouver. And yeah, it's like a big transition in the last 5 years of my life that I can say that I'm a completely new person and I have a completely new set of organs because I had to regenerate them. And we do regenerate our organs every certain number of years, but I'm like conscious of that process as I had to become really aware of healing myself in order to save my life from Lyme disease 5 years ago, when my systems were shutting down and stopped functioning because there was this overload with bacteria. And I had to really attune to my own self, to my own being, and to God in order to reclaim my life and reclaim the gift that this life is. It's like I was not willing to give away the gift of my life and the gift that my family has given to me in order to exist in this reality. Enough work had done in my life to be here, and I was not willing to give it all away. So I fought every single day of my life for 1.5 years. I would just wake up with this conviction that I was going to reclaim my health and I was going to do all these protocols and all these sets of rituals and exercise and diets and detoxing and nourishment and alternative technologies in order to heal myself. And I did it. I was able to cross the threshold that a lot of people around the world have not been able to cross. It's like there's a lot of people who have right now Lyme disease around the world. It's huge. It's a pandemic. There's millions of patients with Lyme disease that are in a labyrinth of the medical industry that has no